and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a sports betting perspective, with pro handicappers Alex B. Smith and veteran sports writer Jimmy Murphy. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Sunday, February 13th, a Super Bowl Sunday edition of the Ice Guys. Of course, counting down 6 hours and a little bit away from Super Bowl 56, LA Rams, Cincinnati Bengals. But we're here to talk hockey, and we're seeing if we can put some money in your pocket before the big game kicks off, because obviously, as the tradition with Super Bowl Sunday, all the games are early in the afternoon before the game kicks off. There's never any NHL on Super Bowl Sunday evening. They're never in a million years going to compete with the Super Bowl. So we have 4 games. They're all early starts. Ian Cameron, we got Andrew McGinnis back with us today, and Vito back with us once again. He's our weekend Ice Guys panelist, if you will, moving forward. So great to have him back as well. Just briefly, because we want to get to these games, and a couple of them are starting in about 20 minutes from now. Just briefly on last night, Thatcher Demko basically steals 2 points for Vancouver. Terrific performance from him to beat Toronto by a score of 3-2 last night. Very impressive with that. We saw Calgary keep on rolling. The Flames are indeed burning bright right now. The Calgary Flames, another very impressive win over the New York Islanders, scoring goals in bunches, locking it down defensively when they have to. Very impressive hockey team right now. There's no other way around it. They get the win. I think everybody and his brother was on St. Louis in some form yesterday against Chicago. They cruised to a 5-1 win. Minnesota, Carolina. Look, the best bet over for me falls short in that game. It ends 3-2 Minnesota. I'm not going to complain about the fact that it was 3-2 in the third and it stayed 3-2. That game probably should have stayed under. The under was the right side. There's no question. It was 1-0 going into the third, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open in the third. But it still fell short of the original game total. But we talked about it yesterday. I was not looking to go against Minnesota in that spot. They had the rest advantage. They were at home off a shutout loss to Winnipeg. Kind of felt like things were in their favor in terms of the schedule, and they took advantage of it with a 3-2 win over Carolina. We also saw Boston shut out Ottawa 2-0. Give the Bruins credit, shorthanded, still no Marchand and Bergeron. They get the win 2-0. Jets with one of the upsets of the day, 5-2 over Nashville. Too many penalties for Nashville. Can't stay in the box for, over almost a quarter of the game, and expect to win a hockey game. And that was the issue. Lack of discipline for the Nashville Predators, and Winnipeg makes them pay for it. Nice bounce back for Winnipeg, 5-2 on a tough spot, too, back-to-back on the road. Jets get it done. Columbus with sending the Montreal Canadiens home with another loss, another heartbreaker for Montreal. Final seconds, Patrick Laine with the game winner, 2-1. Just
don't remind me.
Yeah, brutal loss for Montreal. We'll see if they're going to win a game in my lifetime. They'll have another chance today against the Buffalo Sabres. Detroit with a 4-2 win as well against Philly. Andrew, we'll start with you. Some thoughts on Saturday's action.
Well, of course, I'm demoralized by that Montreal Canadiens game, but I thought it was a really good effort by them. And, as much as they've had a horrible, horrible season, I did a little rant and I tweeted it out. It was a little video I had, and I talked with you guys about it the other day on the show that, and Ian, from just the time working with me, how I've always said about coaching changes in the NHL or in hockey in general. Sometimes it's not even just about, what the coach is saying. It's just about a new voice in the room, like the fact that people are saying that St. Louis has said some majorly important things to Caulfield and that's why he's playing better. To me, I can't even take that seriously. I mean, what is he, a magician? Like, what is he telling him how to score goals again? Like, I think that he's giving him confidence again, and maybe he's, under a new coach and learning a few new things. But let's face it, there's no pressure on this team right now. So I thought that was, it's still a good game, but, created a lot of chances. They ran into a good goaltender there. That's what happened yesterday. It was great goaltending for Columbus. Great goaltending from Thatcher Demko, like you said as well. If the Vancouver Canucks could give him goal support all season long, then this team would be really, really, really tough to play against. Speaking of goal support, that's what Markstrom's getting over in Calgary. I mean, all the Flames goaltenders. I mean, 5 goals from them, big outburst in the third period as well. I'm impressed with this Flames team. Like they've really turned it on. They had a decent first half of the season, but they mean business. And hey, we talked about it pre-show, and you just mentioned it. My best bet of the day yesterday was the Blues team total over 3.5, and was able to get there with that one. And I kind of stayed away otherwise. So looking forward to today's card. Couple of interesting ones, and I actually have some cross-sport props if anybody's interested in those for the NFL and NHL.
Yeah, NHL, you can do basically Super Bowl cross-sport props are basically mostly for the games today, whether it's NHL, NBA, even college basketball. They offer cross-sport props every year for the Super Bowl with those three sports for sure. Vito, what was your thoughts overall from yesterday's games?
Yeah, a little bit adding about Montreal there. Yeah, I think that the coaching change actually means a lot. Just look at the teams. I mean, Montreal, okay, first period not so good, but the rest of the game was very good, and we can all agree on that. And just look at the Oilers. Somehow Smith comes out and plays an amazing game, and it's a 3-1 win. So yeah, I mean, everybody just wants to, like, I think, show to the coach that and get their attention, so they earn the playing time for later. So I think players start to play better when they got new coach. It's just not everything is like momentum, I think.
Yeah, my point is more so just that, like you said, like momentum. Like it's not like the coach is actually saying anything in one day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's my obviously you played at a high level. I never played it. I just think that like it's more so about the mental aspect than it actually is about like the coach teaching things. Like Bruce Boudreau didn't have a practice with the Canucks for like 4 days, but they went on a good big win streak. So it was kind of like a new voice in the locker room. I think.
Yeah,
do you like St. Louis, Vito? I think he's going to be good for them.
And I think Caulfield just wants to show St. Louis that he's a great player,
Yeah.
And that's what I would do. That's what I would have a feeling. I would have an extra motivation to play, to show a new coach that I am actually better than everybody thought before.
Yep, no question about that. Absolutely. By
But
the way,
overall, yesterday Nashville let me down, of course, with the penalties. I mean, just blow 2-0 lead. So nice start. But okay, it is what it is. But yeah, Calgary, I guess, is the fourth game for me on the row. I've been on Calgary, so that's pretty okay for me there. And I won on Blues as well. So it was pretty okay night. I pushed, I guess.
Yep, good.
So
You made some money. That's what matters, right? That's all that matters. Plus money at the end of the day is a good thing. Yeah, Bruce Boudreau, all he told Brock Besser when he got there was just shoot the puck a little bit more. That's all he said. He didn't say you got to change your release, you got to change your technique, you got to, maybe go to different areas of the offensive zone to score. All he said was just shoot the puck and trust your confidence, trust your ability.
Look at Mitch Marner. I mean, all the time talks about him shooting, and he just keeps shooting.
Yeah, now he's a shooting machine, as I've said multiple times.
How many games straight is that over for his shots, guys? Do you guys know?
It's
I think
remarkable.
like 7, like 8 or more even.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's been no adjustment. It's been 2.5 the whole while. So
they keep talking about that in media, and he keeps shooting.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see if it's now. Look, if it's 2.5 tomorrow, they'll be in action on Monday when they take on the Seattle Kraken. So it'll be interesting to see what that shots prop is for that game as well. All right, we got games starting in about 15 minutes, so let's get to it. We got a Sunday card with 4 games, starting with Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens. We got Buffalo -115, road favorites, total 6 in this game. I like over the total here. I do, even though yesterday's game was under, and maybe you will see Montreal tighten it up. They did yesterday. We'll give them credit for that. But Buffalo's really been loose, all right, in their own zone. And I cashed a ticket with the over against Columbus, best bet on the show earlier this week. Very loose in their own zone. It's very, very easy to get good position in the offensive zone against the Buffalo Sabres right now. That being said, at least prior to yesterday, it was very easy for every opponent to do the same against Montreal. As well. Samuel Montembeault in net for Montreal. Craig Anderson in net for Buffalo. He was god-awful the last time we saw him. It was against Arizona. It couldn't have been any worse. A couple of those goals were just hideous. One right through the wickets. It was like one of those goals a goaltender from the 80s, would have given up. Just bad form for Craig Anderson. So I would expect both of these teams, especially an early start. Sometimes these can go either way. Sometimes it's lethargic and it's very, very dull. And sometimes the goals just fly in left and right. But you got 2 teams that are 2 of the bottom of the barrel teams. Like I say, playing for exercise. Goaltending we don't trust. Defense we don't trust. I like the over here. And I like Cole Caulfield goal scorer prop. Ride it at this point. 2 goals in 2 games with Marty St. Louis behind the bench. He scored their only goal against Columbus on Saturday. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, in my opinion. And Andrew, what do you think here? Sabres, Habs.
Well, with a team that only has, I think, 8 wins in the season. And the last 2 times I've come on this show and said that the Canadiens are a bet on team for that particular day, it hasn't gone very well for me. But I'll just be brutally honest here, guys. I'm really tempted to take the Canadiens here. And
I did yesterday, and they still found a way to fuck it up, so I'm out. Nope.
Well, it's funny, Ian, because I know that you've been on the Habs over train, and I've got a buddy of mine he's not a hockey fan at all, huge basketball fan, right? And he tailed one of my picks on the Habs over one day. And he started checking all the Habs games, and he goes, guys, why aren't we just betting every single game over that this team plays? Because they're so bad on defense. But I don't know. I really like the way they had that third period. So I'm going to go ahead and say Canadiens here, Ian. Like, obviously, you can tell that it's not my favorite play. I have personally bet it, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. But I love the way a team ended a game. And I always say that even if some people in the handicapping business don't watch games, and I don't understand how that's even possible. But if you watch that game, you know how well the Canadiens were playing. That was the best offensive, puck possession I've ever seen out of the Canadiens this season. Confidence, moving the puck around, finding open guys, and I hate to say the cliche, but it looked like they were having fun and enjoying themselves. So. I'll take them, and also a player prop on Tyler Toffoli to score a goal today.
All right, and Tyler Toffoli's been a good shots on goal prop lately as well. So maybe also look at that prop as well. The shots on goal for him. Vito, what do you like here?
Yeah, well, talking about Montreal here, well, they only had one practice so far, so they didn't have a lot of time to practice. So, but they finished that game on a good note, pretty. Like they had all the pressure, and I mean. We will just talk about a little bit about the props. Also, I can tell you, I think Brendan Gallagher has went over 2.5 shots in 6 of his last 7 home games. So that's what you can maybe look at. Because here in Europe, we don't have shot props in our books so much, or just the odds are terrible. So I don't.
That's disappointing,
so
Vito.
Yeah.
You deserve better than that. You deserve better than that as an NHL better over there.
So yeah, but anyways, this is a division rival game, right? The first meeting Buffalo won 5-1. Second meeting Buffalo won also 4-1. So they're gonna play 2 more times, right? And two games left. Both games are left in Montreal. So this is a very great spot. Well, no, I wouldn't say great spot for Montreal, because also if you look just at the rest factor, I mean, which game this is for the Montreal in this week? I know they're coming off the break and everything, but for Montreal, this is give me a second. It's the 4th game, right, this week, and Buffalo only 2nd. Not sure. Well, Buffalo played against Columbus the first game. What was the score there? I already forgot.
Well, it's a major rest advantage for Buffalo, no question.
A little bit. Yeah. So I'm staying away from this game. Don't know any wagers, just all the information. Well, leaning, I don't know. It also can go under. I mean, maybe it's a sleepy start like yesterday. Teams just keep it keep it simple. Don't want to do any mistakes. It's early, something like that. So I don't have any big opinion on this game, to be honest.
Just maybe a look at Gallagher, says over shots for Vito in this one, potentially just a lean. But it is worth noting, actually, you're right. The last 3 home games, I see it on this game log here, 3 shots in each of those last 3 home games for him. So maybe
Buffalo is allowing a lot of shots on that.
That is true. Both of these teams are, but that's why there's a chance for the puck to go in my opinion, today. We'll see how that one goes. Sabres.
You guys find it funny that Dom Ducharme, all he needed was a goaltender and asked the GMs for a goaltender, and all of a sudden St. Louis gets hired, and all of a sudden they go and pick up Hammond.
Talking about Hammond, we didn't actually mention
Hamburglar.
Yeah, Hamburglar. Where was he a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Wait, it's his first game this season, no? Or no?
He's not starting. Samuel Montembeau's in.
Right.
We're going with him on a back-to-back. Yeah,
I
think that's the better
changed,
option.
Maybe.
To be honest, I don't trust Hammond. To be honest, he was a flash in the pan years ago for a couple of seconds, and that's about it. All right, Ottawa and Washington next up. We've got Washington minus 250, home favorites, total 6 in this game. Obviously, Ottawa's in the tricky spot here, back-to-back for them. They were home against Boston yesterday, and credit to the Bruins, shorthanded, but obviously they were not very pleased with They knew they were up against it against Carolina, but I'm sure they weren't very pleased with getting just annihilated 6-0 by the Hurricanes, because they certainly played like it yesterday. A much better game from the Boston Bruins, pretty solid at both ends of the ice. And Ottawa now suddenly shut out in back-to-back games. So they're on a 60 or it's 120-minute goal scoring drought as a team going into this game. Back-to-back shutout losses. So they'll be looking to crack the goose egg today against Washington. Here's another game where, much like Buffalo and Montreal, where Buffalo's had a couple of days off, a major scheduling advantage and rest advantage. Same thing here. Washington's been off for 2 days. They haven't played since beating Montreal back on Thursday, 5-2. Whereas here's Ottawa coming in here, playing their third game in 4 nights and back-to-back. So definitely scheduling advantages, situationals point to the Capitals here in this game today. As far as their lineup goes, they are going to have Alex Ovechkin back for this game. He's off COVID protocol. He is back in the lineup, and he will retake his spot on the top line with Nick Backstrom and Connor Sheary. So big, obviously, news there when you talk about the grade 8 coming back to the lineup. No change in Oshie's status. Oshie remains out for the Capitals. Looks like Anton Forsberg will be in net. No surprise after Murray got the start yesterday. And Ilya Samsonov's coming off one of his better starts. Now, it was against Montreal, but still, there's not many starts where he's given up 2 goals or less recently, and he finally had one of those starts against Montreal. So is that a sign maybe for Ilya Samsonov to get his game back and maybe start playing better? Because he's had a tough stretch of hockey in net for Washington lately. We'll see if he can get it back. I really have not much on this game. It's a pass for me with the Senators and Capitals. It's a tough spot for Ottawa. I'm not ready to back them. The price is tempting, but they're slumping to score at the moment. Washington's trying to get on a run, trying to put some wins together. They know they have work to do. So I'm passing on this one. Washington's probably the side, but not at minus 250 for me. Vito, let's start with you here on this one. Ottawa, Washington.
Yeah, well, talking about this game, well, this is the only game which actually I liked when I looked at the yesterday's card, which I like because I think for Washington, they kind of went in this slump, before the All-Star break, and now they're kind of trying to get out of it, and they have pretty great games in hand and ahead of them, So, and just historically, Washington has had a pretty great success against Ottawa, how much I remember, like in the previous seasons. What else can I tell about this game? Actually, Washington is scored the last 5 games. Washington is scoring already 4.2 goals, so that's pretty a lot. Washington was not scoring a little bit before, but now they are back on scoring, so that's great. That's what I love to see from Washington. Yeah, they're still allowing 3 goals. Let's see how Samsonov do today. And for Ottawa, I mean, I just remember when they went to Islanders, I think as well. A little bit same schedule was they were playing at home, and then they went to play Islanders, and Islanders won 4-1. So I kind of lean on these kind of same things that I have done before. I kind of do that same later again. So again, I see like Ottawa is going from home just to play now 1 game in Washington. Then they're going to go home and again play at home. And I just think it's a massive advantage here for Washington situationally. And I think they should get this game done. They had won already 2 previous meetings. So that could be the only reason why Sens maybe would like to get this done also today. But yeah, I have my wager on Washington puck line.
All right, there you go. That would be the value for sure. I mean, if you like Washington, look at regulation, look at puck line. Puck line's around minus 1.5 even money for the Capitals. So Vito liking the puck line here, minus 1.5 with Washington. Andrew, Sens Caps.
Yeah, I just I'll tell you what, guys. I've had such bad luck with puck lines that I'm scared of them. I'm just on the team total over 3.5, minus 125, 130 with the Capitals. You know what? I've been waiting for a breakout little mini streak from them, but I haven't really been able to see it. And we'll see if they can develop something here because the good news is even in some games they've lost recently, they've still been putting up some goals. So we'll see if that, the game against Columbus and the game against Montreal means anything. Obviously 2 teams that are kind of below par, but hey, so is Ottawa, and like Vito mentioned, a great point by him was the situational spot. Also, not to mention, the teams that Ottawa has played recently. I know Boston has kind of been struggling a little bit, but still playing Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Boston. That is not easy for a team. And then now you have to play Washington again here on a Sunday afternoon in the nation's capital. Not an easy spot. So I think, circumstances would tell us that Washington should get it going here today.
All right, team total over 3.5 at -130 for Andrew with the Capitals here in this game. Yes, this was a rescheduled game, so that's why it's such a. Again, there's going to be teams in a situation like this where they've got to play an extra game or two that was postponed earlier in the year, and as a result, you're going to see many situations like this that we see with Ottawa today, where you're playing your 4th game in 6 nights and your 5th game in 7 nights, actually as well for Ottawa. So you're going to a lot of games in a condensed period of time. That's basically what we're going to see here in the month of February. Multiple examples of this for teams across the NHL as they try to pack in this schedule. All right, next up, we've got this one's actually, you've got some time. If you're watching live, this one doesn't start until about an hour from now. Pittsburgh and New Jersey. We've got Pittsburgh -220, road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. This is another over for me, and not normally do I like Pittsburgh overs, but I'm going to make an exception here because they're playing New Jersey, and New Jersey's they can score and they give up goals. That's the New Jersey Devils, and we have seen that 4 of their last 5 have gone over the total. They've scored 7. How about that? 14 goals in the last 2 games from this Devils team. The 7-goal outburst against Montreal, that wasn't so shocking because we know Montreal's been hemorrhaging goals. Giving up scoring 7 against St. Louis was a bit surprising, although 2 of them were in the empty net. It was really 5 goals, 5 non-empty net goals for New Jersey in that win against St. Louis, and a struggling Jordan Binnington in net that night for the Blues. But no, give New Jersey credit. I mean, they have found ways still to keep their offense going. They've had obviously issues in terms of having Jack Hughes being out, but it looks like Jack Hughes is going to return for the Devils today from the COVID-19 protocol list for this game. Jesper Bratt, questionable. I think the last I heard, they're hopeful that he was going to be in the lineup today for the Devils, and Jesper Bratt's been one of their better forwards. He's definitely someone that we've been betting a lot of shots on goal overs with lately as well. We'll see if he's in the lineup. It looks like game time decision for him. He's had a solid year, 14 goals, 29 assists, 43 points for Jesper Bratt this year. So it's been a really nice season for him for the New Jersey Devils. As far as Pittsburgh's concerned, they're off a shutout win against Ottawa. Very good performance from Casey DeSmith in that game. But, of course, it'll be back to Tristan Jarry in net for this game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. There is a potential, by the way, we don't know who the Devils goalie is going to be. But apparently there's potential for Mackenzie Blackwood maybe being activated and starting today. Not confirmed yet, but we might see Mackenzie Blackwood. Even if he is in, I still like this over because he hasn't played in forever. And let's be honest, he hasn't had a good season. He's had a very mediocre at best season for the Devils in net. And if it's not him, you'll get a very mediocre to below average option, whether it's Gillies in net or Nico Dawes. And, you don't really trust either of those 2 goalies if it happens to be one of them for the New Jersey Devils today. So either way, I like this game over the total here. Andrew, what do you think? Pittsburgh, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the over. I think that I'm not Pittsburgh, is one of those teams that I always say they don't take their foot off the gas pedal. They play good defense. That's one of the reasons why I made a future on them to win the East. When they're playing big games, they do play good defensive hockey. But for some reason, like in some games recently, you look against Washington or you look even against LA, even that game against Detroit, I wasn't really looking at a good defensive team when I watched them play. And against New Jersey, I expect them to kind of show up and want to do similar things to what they did against Ottawa, except for keep pouring them in. New Jersey's defense hasn't looked very good anymore. Is Blackwood confirmed? Is he 100%?
He's available for New Jersey, but he's not been confirmed as the starting goalie. He's not confirmed. They haven't decided. Okay. They're going to wait. We'll know in about 30 minutes when they take the ice for the pregame skate, essentially.
I'll tell you what, I'm curious to hear Vito's take on this, but I think that sometimes you see a goalie make their first start back and they're ready to go and that it's all good. But sometimes I think there's lots of pressure put on that goalie their first time back in. And even if they have a good game, there still might be a few squeakers go by them that they might usually have saved in the past. So, and I think New Jersey can get a few as well. Look at the last couple of games for them, been very, very messy, but they've scored 14 goals their last 2 games. And the games before that, they allowed 4, they allowed 7, they allowed 6. So recent history would tell us that this should see some goals here. My only hope is that Pittsburgh doesn't take their foot off the gas pedal and they keep pressing, because I think the only way we lose this over is off, Pittsburgh kind of playing more tight checking and changing up their formations in the middle of the game.
That's true. I mean, that's sometimes what you get when Pittsburgh gets a lead, usually by 2 or 3 goals, especially. They'll really put it into lockdown mode. We'll see if that ends up happening. But I've also seen New Jersey give this team a lot of fits. Pittsburgh has had a hard time building margin against New Jersey in the past. The Devils have just been one of those teams that have played the Penguins close, played them tough. So we'll see if that ends up happening once again today. What do you think here, Vito? Pittsburgh, New Jersey.
I'm talking about the goalies. I think it's actually all individual for each goalie. You see, Demko can come back and he can play a very good game. Well, Blackwood on the other side, I'm not so sure about him.
Right.
So it's I think situational for the goalies. But most of the times, I don't think that the first game you should be. Well, Demko, yeah, he's just good. But most of the goalies, they should have shaky starts, I think. And anyways, about the game a little bit. Well, if you watch the previous games, the Pittsburgh lost actually first game at home to Devils 2 against 4, and that was a high, very many shots in that game. That was like 40 shots to Devils, 35 I think to Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh went to New Jersey, won there 3-2, and shots was like 21 to Pittsburgh and 17 to Devils. So Pittsburgh really shut down that second game, because they lost the first game. So they really went in to win that second game, I guess. And now it's the third game between these division rivals. I mean, and if you just look at the Pittsburgh, they can finish this road on perfect 3-0, right? They have won first 2 games. This is the last game. Then they play home, I think, against St. Louis or something. I already forgot, but yeah. And I think, definitely there's a little bit goalie mismatch in this game. Just look at it's Blackwood and Jarry. Jarry has been phenomenal this year. And what else I can tell you about this game? I mean, Pittsburgh has been very great on the road this year. If we just check their Pittsburgh record on the road, I mean, it's 16, 5, 1, and 2. So 16 wins. That's very nice. I think Pittsburgh is the play, to be honest, in this game. I would take over definitely with people. I haven't placed any wagers, but I actually was looking on this line. I was looking at over 3.5 goals as well here. And well, I guess that would be my take in this game. Yeah.
All right, there you go. So no official bet for Vito, but he's kind of leaning toward Pittsburgh here. Team
Crosby should get his 500th goal, right? Perhaps today. So that's
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's looking for it. He's closing in on it, and will today be the day? Ends up being the question here. But same price as the Washington team total. It's minus 130 with that.
What about Crosby to get a point and Ovechkin to get a point parlayed together?
Definitely. You think it's always a good shot for them to get, especially when you factor in the matchup. You got
who they're
Washington
playing,
a tired Ottawa team. You got Pittsburgh against a horrendous defensive team like New Jersey. For the most part, they're horrendous. I mean, I know they had the Montreal game, but they give up goals for the most part in a lot of their games recently. So definitely can see that. He just needs one, by the way. He's at 499 right now. Yeah. Just needs one more goal, Sidney Crosby, to hit the 500 goals club in the National Hockey League. Quite an accomplishment for him, no doubt about that. All right, final game of this Sunday card. It's the latest game. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's definitely the game of the short 4-game slate.
Actually, we didn't mention. Did we mention the Malkin returning? Is he in lineup? Gino. That's a big.
Gino is dated. Let me see. I didn't expect him to be back. No, he is back. Yep.
He is back. Gino is back. That's a big. I remember, guys, how he came back last time. Yep. He came back and scored, I think, 2 goals.
Yep, he did. An automatic improvement and boost it was to the power play. Yeah, Mike Sullivan was non-committal. He said game time decision, but the update since he said that was expect him to play. Unless there's a setback when he takes the ice before the game, he will probably play for the Penguins. So it looks like we will have a Gino Malkin sighting, and we'll have him returning in net here, or on the ice, I should say, for the Pittsburgh Penguins here. All right, we got Colorado, Dallas, probably the best game of the early afternoon games here. Colorado minus 165, road favorites, 6 the total. pretty much across the board in this one. Should be an interesting one. Obviously, Colorado going on the road against a Dallas team that's done their most damage, I guess you could say, at home. How about the Stars' offense? That's what's taken me by surprise the last several games. This last 4-game stretch that they've had, they've scored 6, 3, 4, and 4. A grand total of 17 goals for the Dallas Stars in their last 4 games combined. Jamie Benn is scoring. Tyler Seguin is chipping in, which is good. Those are the guys that sometimes they disappear, and they're scoring lately. Rupe Hintz has been amazing. Jason Robertson continues to be just a terror right now for opposing teams. So Dallas has a lot of they got Radulov back recently. So, the Dallas Stars suddenly are got some offense going. They're putting the puck in the net. They are capitalizing and converting on many of their chances. I think even their power play lately has been a lot better. Yes, it has. They've scored 3 power play goals in the last 4 games, so which has been good to see. Now, can they carry this over and keep it going here this afternoon against Colorado is the big question. The Avalanche, just other than that lone blemish against Arizona, of all teams, which snapped that a massive home win streak, they've pretty much won every other game, 9-1 their last 10. Big win against Tampa Bay, 3-2 in that showdown to prevent proverbial potential Stanley Cup final preview, if you will, in that game, beating the Lightning 3-2. Now they go on the road here for just 1 game, it looks like, against Dallas. Then they return home to play Dallas again on Monday, or Tuesday rather. So this is going to be a first of a home and home between these 2 teams. And then they go on the road, face Vegas and Buffalo. They get Dallas at home. They go on the road here for this game today. Just when I think about it, coming off a big win against Tampa Bay, it's not the best spot for Colorado. What is good news, though, for Colorado, guys, Nate McKinnon is back today for them. Certainly a significant deal. We know a significant return. Getting him back, he'll probably be back on his usual perch, top line duty with Rantanen and Landeskog. And all of a sudden, you get McKinnon back, and it lengthens the lineup big time here. I'm tempted by over the total here, and no, in this one. Colorado does seem to go over lately more on the road than at home. At home, they've had this recent trend of we get a lead, we tighten it up, and we try to shut you down. And they've been going under like crazy at Ball Arena lately. But the last time they were on the road was a while ago. It was against Chicago. That game was 6-4. So it's kind of that game where Colorado at home, believe it or not, when they've gotten the lead, they've shut it down. On the road, maybe it's not as easy to shut the other team down. When the home team's got last line change, they can match up a little bit better. But nevertheless, we have seen Colorado kind of actually trend stronger to the under at home than on the road. Dallas has been scoring goals in bunches, particularly at home. So that's why I kind of don't mind giving the over a shot here. I don't love it, but I think over, as long as you get it at 6, it is juiced at -125 in most spots, but that's the way I'd probably play this one is Avs and Stars over. You certainly can't deny the form the Stars are in offensively at the moment. And there's talk that Braden Holtby might end up being the goaltender today for them and give Ottinger a rest. And Holtby hasn't played in a while, so I worry about him and his ability to be sharp today in this one. Andrew, I think it's probably the best of these 4 games here on this early Super Bowl Sunday afternoon. What do you think, Colorado, Dallas?
No argument there for me that it's definitely, an amazing game here tonight. I think it's going to be the best one. I think that, on the Ice Guys show, I've pretty much failed to give Dallas respect on the money line. I haven't given them as much respect this year. When I've been involved in Dallas Stars games, though, however, it's been on the over. I had that in Nashville where it was 4-3, Calgary 4-3, 3 straight games, by the way, same score line. But I look at this Dallas team, and the pace they play at has just completely changed from years past. I mean, they push the puck up the ice. They're not as much a dump and chase team anymore. They constantly are carrying the puck over the blue line. Talk about a guy like Rupe Hintz. The way he plays every single day is just incredible for that team. And they do allow lots of shots, though, and obviously getting McKinnon back is huge. The thing that I look at with Colorado is that, they had that down spot at the start of the month against Arizona, but their schedule is not easy coming up, and so I feel like this game is huge to them, which is why I'm actually going to take them here on the road, just on the money line. I know it's kind of juicy, but I'm taking them on the money line. I think that just kind of like I talked about earlier with Washington, I mean, you look at the crazy schedule here for Colorado, how well they've played. I'm not saying they need to go on a streak by any means, but I feel like these are kind of games they can win. And Dallas, their identity of a good defensive team kind of being lost won't help them against Colorado. Dallas will not want to trade goals against an Avalanche team, I don't think. There's just too many options. And like you said, with McKinnon back in the lineup, it creates more separation for other players, and they can get it done there. So I think Colorado gets it done tonight. And I think that loss against Arizona was almost a good wake-up call. You're not going to win them all, and then they're back at it tonight. Or obviously beat Tampa Bay, and then now tonight.
All right, so Colorado, and Andrew's playing a little safer here, going with money line here, minus 165 here with the Colorado.
Oh, geez, I locked in 150, so maybe I'll say regulation then.
Oh, for the show purposes, yeah. Was it really that low at minus one? Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, I'm seeing that. A few books definitely had it minus 150.
My bad. Yeah, I mean, I know it's only 15 cents, but that's still a lot. So
yeah, minus 165. All right, for the show, we'll make it Colorado in regulation, which is definitely closer to even money with that. Colorado in regulation minus 105. So that one is definitely a better price with that. Vito, what do you think here? Avs and Stars.
Well, I think this actually is a very important game for Dallas. Just if you watch, they're going to play Avs after 2 days again, and that's going to be in Colorado.
Yep.
Well, Dallas needs points now to get in that playoff spot. I mean, they're fifth in their division. So now they play 2 games against Colorado. I don't think they're going to drop both games. But what I don't like to say, as you guys mentioned, that's Holtby starting, right? But is it confirmed?
Not confirmed, but I was hearing Rick Bowness say they wanted to get him in for one of these games against Colorado. It's whether it's this game or the next one. Yep.
Well, I wouldn't trust my wager on the goalie and his Holtby against Avalanche. I mean, Avalanche getting back McKinnon. So yeah, I don't have any wagers on these games. Well, just because I don't like. Well, I see that they're gonna play after 2 games. I like these revenge spots. Well, if I see Colorado losing today, I'm all over Colorado at home. But now, well, if Colorado wins this one, then at home, I'm also not sure what's going to happen. Or perhaps Colorado should win. I don't know. But, well, today, if you want to see, well, I think Colorado actually outshot Dallas first game 37-22, but Dallas managed to win that game 3-1. So, it was 37 shots to 22. So, I mean, Colorado is a better team. I guess we can all agree on that. So, if Colorado comes out today and gives their A game, I guess they're going to win. But if they lack a little bit focus, make some mistakes, I think Dallas has a chance to stick in this game as well.
All right, so there we go. Basically, could go either way right there is basically what Vito's trying to say right there. Colorado, Dallas. Should be an interesting one. Again, these 2 teams will play again on Tuesday. And speaking of Tuesday, I think you guys already knew this, but we'll just make it official and just hammer it home to just make sure we make it official here that the next BetCast will be Tuesday night. So that's this Tuesday, February the 15th, 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. And we're looking forward to it. We're going to try to make it every Tuesday the rest of the season, Ice Guys BetCast. And the only thing I would question is maybe we take a week or 2 off, maybe that week and, right before the NCAA tournament in March, just because usually on the Tuesday they have those play-in games or the first 4 as they call them. We might not do one that night, but other than that, like pretty much for the rest of the regular season, you've got an Ice Guys BetCast to look forward to every single Tuesday night. So we're looking forward to that. And we're also looking at maybe doing a shorter version of the BetCast on Thursdays. Not every Thursday, but multiple Thursdays. Andrew and I were talking about that. Maybe we would just be with you through the early games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern and then sign off after 10 p.m. When the early games end. A little bit of a shorter version on Thursdays as well. So one BetCast every Tuesday for sure. And we might be having multiple weeks with a BetCast, a shorter edition on Thursdays. So we're going to have a lot of live BetCasts for the Ice Guys moving forward. We know you guys enjoy them. We enjoy doing them. We enjoy being part of them as well. So looking forward to that. And Andrew, I know you are as well.
Yeah, I really enjoy them. I think it's just a chance to for everybody to chat and just get to know each other, but have like a fun time. Obviously everyone's letting loose. It was nice. People, a lot of funny messages. People loved Alex's comedy. He was throwing chirps. He loves chirping players and having fun like that. And what's cool too is on those big Tuesday nights, everybody's on different pages. Everybody has different picks. It's cool. Like last night, like you guys both said, we a lot of us had St. Louis, but it's not going to happen like that every night. So it's kind of cool when we all come together and this guy's waiting on this team to score. This guy's hoping on that to happen. And we can kind of just all cheer for each other.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. There's no question. Vito was with us for the first betcast this season that we did a couple of weeks ago on that Tuesday night. And he was probably as good as anybody when it came to keeping everybody up to date. And
the flash score, Vito. The flash score.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I enjoyed the betcast as well. It was a great one. Something to keep me up during the night to watch the games here.
Yep. So if Vito ends up being one of these people that has problems, getting proper sleep in the future, he can blame the Ice Guys betcast for it.
I think I will from March start to go sleep for 1 month at least. I haven't slept now. I have Olympics. I have NHL. I don't sleep.
Yeah, sleeping. You know what a couple of friends of mine say? I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's what they say. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Why waste your time sleeping a whole lot? You got things to do and you want to enjoy life and experience things. So
my problem is I just have too much coffee. If I'm sleepy, I'll keep making coffee or go to the store. That's my problem. If I'm tired, like you said, Vito, if I was betting like during I like watching tennis. I was watching a lot of the Australian Open. So that's like the middle of the night. Same thing for you with the hockey. So like I'm just having coffee at like 3 a.m., and it's just like it's not good for your sleep.
Yeah, good, but I'm used to it. So I wake up usually like 1-2 p.m. and then I prepare my slate, and it's like kind of perfect for NHL. It's always still better. Yeah, I usually see that the lines move when I wake up. Usually at 1 or 2 p.m. Really, you can see big movement on lines. So I don't know what it's like. 12 hours before the game.
So what time is it where you are right now?
Now it's 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7 hours difference between Eastern time zone and Vito time zone in Riga, Latvia. So it's 7 hours for me, Andrew. That would be 6 hours for you. The difference. Yeah. So that's pretty good. It's Sunday evening there already in Latvia for Vito right now.
So it's Super Bowl Monday for in Europe, and not Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, when the Super Bowl starts,
Super Bowl morning.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be 1:30 a.m. for Vito in Latvia when the Super Bowl kicks off later today. And speaking of the Super Bowl, great segue. It's our last chance to remind you about the DraftKings Sportsbook offer you can take advantage of. Official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. They are giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team tonight. Rams or Bengals. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in New York, meaning you can bet from almost a third of the country. DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet. You can play for DraftKings Daily Fantasy Football Contest for Super Bowl 56. New customers can get a free shot at a $1 million top prize with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings app. Use promo code THPN. Get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Must be 21 years of age or older. Minimum age and location requirements vary by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full list of requirements and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app. Sign up for an account. Use the promo code THPN. All right, best bets to wrap up this Super Bowl Sunday edition of the Ice Guys. Andrew, we'll start. We've only got 2 games left on the card, but best bet from one of them. What do you like?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we giving out best bet live bets here on the games that are happening right now? You know what? Give me the Avalanche in regulation today. I don't like I know that the Avalanche can't win every game, but I don't like the Stars defense, and I think that if they want to trade goals against a team like Colorado, it's not going to be a good recipe for them. So give me the Avs.
All right, Colorado in regulation, -105 against the Dallas Stars. Best bet for Andrew McGinnis. Vito, I don't think you love the Pittsburgh, New Jersey, or Colorado, Dallas games. So if you had to give
I
out
have
some kind of
opinion.
best bet, what would it be?
I start to have opinions after the show, like always. But yeah, well, I
We all do.
took Pittsburgh last time I was here, and they let me down against the Kings at home. So I not really want to take. I think Pittsburgh over 3-5. I think I'm going to take Dallas and Colorado over 6 goals.
There you go. Colorado, Dallas over 6. And I like that play as well for Vito with his best bet. Mine is going to be the over in the other game that's still to be played. Pittsburgh, New Jersey, over the total 6.5, even money plus 100. I think we see that game get up and over the total. And we see both teams find the back of the net there. I think New Jersey will contribute as well. We've seen them, again, 14 goals the last 2 games. But whether it's a rusty Mackenzie Blackwood, who's not had a good season, or it's still either John Gillies or Nico Dawes in net for New Jersey, I don't trust any of that trio to shut down the Penguins here. So Pittsburgh, New Jersey, over 6.5 for my best bet for this Sunday card. And that'll wrap things up. I talked Super Bowl yesterday at the end of Saturday's show with Jake Hahn and with Vito. I gave you my side, my total, my props. Andrew, you haven't had a chance on the show to talk Super Bowl and props that you like, so here's your chance.
I'll give 2. Joe Mixon over 24.5 receiving yards. Really like that. As much as I think they're going to have to stretch the field, I think they're going to have to rely on, the guys in the backfield for some short passes, swing plays. When they're, the pressure is going from Donald and the pass rush from the Rams. Mixon will have to be there to support him. The numbers drop down, but I don't really buy into that quite a bit. And another one that I really like that was plus 260, now plus 240, though. Will there be a defensive or a special teams touchdown? I've locked that in at plus 260. You can get that at DraftKings now, I think plus 245. I think whether it's a pick six that Stafford throws or whether it's a fumble from the Bengals or the Rams, I think that we're going to see a defensive touchdown. And it's been a positive expectation wager over the last 15 years. I think it's 8 of the last 15, but also getting the plus 240, plus 250 price tag makes it worth your while pretty much every single year, it seems.
There it is. All right. We've got Super Bowl props from Andrew. I gave out a bunch yesterday. Again, tune into the end of yesterday's show. I don't want to repeat them all because I think I gave you like 20 props. So make sure you at least 10 I gave you anyway, but it was a lot. So make sure you tune into the end of Saturday's show. And I gave you out what I like for the Super Bowl. Vito, when the Super Bowl's on tonight, will you be checking the score? Will you be watching a little bit of it? What are you doing?
You see my hat?
Yes.
Seahawks. I bought it when I was in Seattle.
There you go.
That was in 2014, I think, when they win.
Unfortunately, that team season is done. They're not in today's game.
But I have Aura. I have NFL Aura here, so.
There we go. Vito, not
well, I'm on the. I guess I watch. I'll be watching the game, I think, and I watched also the playoff little bit games, and I know OBJ, right? OBJ is the king, right?
Odell Beckham. Yeah.
I like his receiving yards, actually. I like his receiving yards.
Yep. And Kendall Blanton, the tight end for the Rams, too, because Cincinnati struggles against tight ends, and I could see him having 30 receiving yards. I think it's 29.5. That got hammered up, by the way. I think that was 19.5 on Kendall Blanton's receiving yards, and it's like 29.5 now. So, and plus,
do you still like it at 29.5, Ian?
I think it's still worth a bet at that number.
How many catches do you think he has to have to get that?
See, with the Bengals, they've given up chunky yardage to tight ends, so it might only take 1 or 2 catches.
Right.
So you might be in a situation where you can expect still him to just need 1 or 2 of those receptions to be able to get to that receiving yards number. So looking forward to the Super Bowl. I know we all are, even Vito. He's looking forward to the Super Bowl tonight as well. And we're looking forward to another week on the ice, guys. We're also looking forward to the Betcast Tuesday night. Make sure you join us. If you want to invite onto the live stream with us Tuesday night, just get in touch with me, Andrew, any of the crew. Send a DM, and we'll make sure we send you a link to the Betcast to join us live on the stream on the show Tuesday night when we go live. for the BetCast. So that's a wrap for this edition of the Ice Guys. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Download the podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Andrew McGinnis and for Vito, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday, a great Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy the big game. Cash some tickets on the ice in the Super Bowl. Good luck, and we will see you and talk to you again tomorrow on Monday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.